What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Corvette Weekly. This is, of course, the weekly Corvette meeting. So every Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have a Corvette gathering here on the Horsepower Obsessed YouTube channel. Now, tonight it is going to be just me. My wife is at work, so once she comes home, she'll probably join us around 8 o'clock or so. If we could have 100 thumbs ups by then, that would be really awesome for her to see. But we have a bunch of C8 Corvette ZR1 information to talk about tonight, guys, and a lack of information that's actually got me a little bit curious, a little bit worried almost, because we don't know where this meeting of revealing the ZR1, where it's happening. Nobody seems to know where that's actually going on. So I have some theories, and we're going to discuss all of that right now. So, guys, welcome back. Like I said, Corvette Weekly. We're going to start with the typical stuff. We have the National Corvette Museum, which of course is the sponsor for these weekly meetings of ours. Now, if you guys haven't seen the National Corvette Museum or the NCM Insurance before, I'm going to show you really quickly what you want to do to save yourselves a bunch of money. So again, if you go to the NCM Insurance website, you're going to go to get a quote. And on here, you can see step number 5. That's where you're going to put in under how you heard about us. You're going to enter in there horsepower obsessed or HPO, and that will get you the best possible quote. So if you are interested in saving some money on your insurance, which who isn't, you should check out NCM Insurance. They have been really, really great. And again, if you look over into the comment section, everybody talking about the NCM Insurance. Nobody ever has anything bad to say about these guys. So check them out, save some money. The link is in the description down below. Just make sure you put in horsepower obsessed in step number 5 about where you heard about us, and you'll get the best possible rate. But guys, we got Shane. Shane's back in the house. What's up, Shane? It's been a little bit. He says we are at 42 thumbs ups currently. Like I said, I'd love to be at 100 by the time my wife gets home so she can tell that we've been doing some work without her. That would be really awesome. I'm sure she's probably on here listening if I had to guess. She usually does those kind of things. But yeah, smash the thumbs up button, guys. What's up, Shane? It's been a hot second. We haven't talked in a little while. I feel weird about that. But I know we're going to see each other here soon with Carlisle coming up. If you guys are going to Carlisle, you should definitely come by the booth. Shane will be there with me. My friend Dana will be there as well. We're going to be representing AWE exhausts, of course, but we're also going to have a guest appearance by the guys from Forge Light Wheels because they are actually giving away a set of wheels. If you guys haven't seen that yet, you should check it out. So I'll pull it up here for you real quickly because it is something you, like I said, you guys should know about because you could potentially win a free set of wheels. Yes, free. So if you guys haven't seen it, it's over on my community tab on YouTube. It is a wheel giveaway from Forge Light. Every dollar you spend is an entry. So basically, if you buy a set of wheels and you end up winning, you'll be refunded whatever you spent on those wheels. So check it out. Anyway, back to the things that matter here. Amber is listening. I knew she would be. John Perkins says, "You know, Amber's listening." We got some of the same names in here as usual, guys. Larry Anthony. The title picture of this live feed is a great rendition of the new ZR1. Thanks for tuning in, Larry. It's always a good day to have you in here for the ZR1 talks, especially. Sportify, it has been a while, man. What's up? How you doing? Kevin Horan's in the house. Matt Hurley, of course. I actually need to talk to you again, Matt. I'll text you after the live here. There's something I need to ask you about. Chili Pepper, of course. We got Michael McCurry. Can't wait till Thursday. Yeah. So we're going to talk a lot about what's going to happen or what's not going to happen on Thursday. A lot of people are waiting and, with bated breath, of course, but I'm kind of thinking we're not going to get much of anything. Now, Rick Conti was one of the first ones to say that he didn't think we were going to see the car. I'm not sure about that part of it, but I'm starting to believe that there's not going to be a physical location for this reveal. And I'll go over why I believe that here in a second. But before I do, we got 60 thumbs ups, guys. Smash those thumbs ups. Like I said, if we can hit 100 by the time my wife gets home, it'll be nice. It'll look like we've been doing something. But what I want to mention really quick before we get into uh, the information tonight, guys, is again the C8 Corvette Z06 giveaway. This is something you guys all should be considering because it doesn't take much money and you could possibly win a Z06. So again, the links are in the description down below, but this is the car you would ultimately be winning. It is a Z06 with a Z07 package. It's in the ceramic matrix gray color, which you can't even get anymore. It's got a really cool red stripe down the center. Of course, with that Z07 kit comes all the cool 007 AERO, and you can read about all the options here. It comes with all the carbon flash painted Z07 kit, satin graphite wheels. All the options are here, but ultimately you can get 50% additional entries just for using the link in the description down below. So if you wanted to throw 25 bucks at this thing, normally you'd only get 18 entries. Now you're going to get 9 more on top of that for free. So you might as well give it a shot. Worst case scenario, it does benefit a good charity. So again, link in the description down below for this and the NCM insurance. Do both of them. Save yourself some money. The money you're going to save on your insurance, you could apply to possibly winning a Z06. So yeah, check out the links in the description, guys. Anyway, let's move on to what you guys are really here for, and that is what it is that we know or don't know about this whole ZR1 reveal. So we got 3 days, 3 days before we should officially see the ZR1 or at least hear some information about the ZR1. Let's go over what I believe is going to happen here because there is a good chance, like I said, this is not going to happen at a physical location. A bunch of people have said that it will, and those locations have changed. There's been, I think, 5 different locations I've seen. I saw originally Detroit, then Miami, then Las Vegas, then Los Angeles, and there was also one, Virginia International Raceway. So as of right now, the mid-engine Corvette forum.com is reporting that this is going to happen in Los Angeles, which nothing. I mean, there's nothing from Chevrolet. Think about how weird that is. We have a reveal of a car, or at least a reveal of some information about this car, but there's no location. And if you were, let's say you're one of the lucky few that were invited to this thing, don't you need an address? You need an address. You need to know where you're going. And someone would have leaked that information by now. Let's face it. Everybody that gets information loves to talk about it. So the fact that we have nothing, we have no solid location, tells me I don't think there is going to be a location. I think this is going to be an internet only kind of reveal. Now, if you guys remember, the Z06 kind of had a location. It was revealed. The Z06 was a really, really popular hot item. Then when the E-Ray was revealed, we got a date. We got a date that we would get a video, some more information basically. And pretty early on in that day, a video dropped on GM's website that said, "Hey, here's the car. Here's what's all about. Here's the specs, the price, and everything." And that was it. There was no official like hardcore reveal of the E-Ray. I I kind of see the same thing happening for the ZR1. It really doesn't seem like the ZR1 is going to get an actual reveal location because at this point, nobody knows of the location. Oh, Bill Miller. Is that ever the truth? I don't understand YouTube's advertisement setup, and if I did, that would definitely not be an ad that would be playing on my channel. Paul Lamonaco says, Justin, how wide do you think the rear tires might be on the ZR1? So, with some of the spy shots we've seen, the rear tires were still showing 345 wides. If I had to guess, if that changes at all, it's going to go to 355. And the only reason I say that is because 355 wide tires already exist in the Sport 4S and the, I think the Cup 2Rs as well, but definitely the Sport 4S. So if that size already exists, Chevy might bump it up 10 series, but ultimately it's not going to be much bigger, 345, 355 at most. Let's get those thumbs ups going, guys. Please smash the thumbs up. Let's see. I believe Red Z06 says, I believe internet only for reveal. I think I didn't think that initially. I really thought that we were going to see a physical location, but now I don't know. There's just no information saying anything. And I had somebody actually tell me that it was going to be in Miami, a pretty solid source. And then I haven't heard another thing about it. GM is cutting down on expenses on having a big public reveal. That's possible. Very possible. And that's the thing is, if that's the case, I mean, I could see that being the case because I've also heard from two pretty big dealerships that they don't foresee the C8 ZR1 demand being very high, which I think is crazy. But if you think about how much that car is going to cost and what kind of performance it's going to have over top of the Z06, I guess it's kind of legit because I mean the ZR1 is going to be a crazy car, it always is, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be that much better than the Z06. So, but you're going to pay a lot of extra money for it. So I can see there not being a gigantic demand for it. So if that's the case, Chevy wouldn't really want to go out of their way and spend a bunch of money on revealing a car that they're not really going to make any money back on. So I think that's about legit. When is the drawing? Are you talking about for the Z06 to win the Z06? If you're talking about that, then that would be drawing date is February 22nd. So February 22nd of this upcoming year is when they'll do the drawing for that particular giveaway. Again, guys, link in the description down below if you want to try to win this Z06, Z07 package car. The close date on it's February 16th. The drawing date is February 22nd. So, yeah. But again, we're talking currently about the ZR1 and the fact that it's probably not going to have a physical location for a reveal. It's my opinion at least. I don't see how they possibly could at this point. We have no information of where it would be located. With the Z06, I mean, we had the Z06 making rounds around dealerships. You could physically go see it for, you know, up to months before the car was even available. The ZR1 we haven't seen anything about. We haven't heard anything about. I feel like this is going to be just a quick YouTube video, like how they've been putting out those teasers on their official Instagrams and YouTube channel and stuff. I think it's going to be something like that. 10-second Z06. I love the name, by the way, man. He says, I like the wall of buttons. It's all about the driver's cockpit. It feels like a race car. 100%. And the thing is that that's what Chevy was going for. And now all of a sudden, they might change it. I don't love the idea that they're going to change that myself, but yeah, John Perkins says the same thing. It's the interior of that car is very, very. It feels like it was purposeful. It was purposely built to feel like a cockpit. And of course, you guys saw the reveal trailer of the C8 Stingray where it came down as a fighter jet and all this other stuff. So I mean, it makes sense that it feels like a cockpit because they obviously designed it that way. But Steven Rapp says, ridiculous that there's no reveal or real reveal. Hope this isn't a production repeat of the E-Ray. Is there a systematic issue with the E-Ray, do you think, Justin? See, Steven, you bring up a good point. For those of you who haven't been following what's going on with the E-Rays, nothing official is out there, but they haven't made very many of these things. And it really makes me wonder, what are they waiting for? Because a lot of the times there's only been one constraint that I can recall off the top of my head that has slowed down the production of E-Rays, and that was a while ago. So why is there only, last I checked, there was only like 650 E-Rays or something built. Why are they making so few of these? I don't see a systematic issue. I haven't heard of any really major problems with the cars, but maybe GM knows something that we don't. Underground Riptile says, hey, Justin, I want one. C8 ZR1 in my life. Yeah. I'd love to have one too. And I know if someone's going to ask me on here, I will be getting a ZR1 if two conditions are met. Number one, it has to be a flat plane crank. That's something we still don't know for sure if it's going to be yes or no. It has to be a flat plane crank for me to consider it. And number two, it's got to be under 220 grand. Like, I just don't want to spend a bunch of money on a car that it starts to really make you wonder, am I making a bad decision here by buying a Corvette for 220 grand when you can get arguably better cars for less money? Joey B, this is a good one. Any word on the fire at the Bowling Green plant? So this was an interesting thing, and this was maybe something that kind of answers Stephen Rapp's question earlier about it being a systematic issue, because the fire at Bowling Green was called in, reported, and someone said that it was a battery pack and an E-ray that caught fire. Then all of a sudden, a call was returned and said there was no fire. So I, unless someone called and just like, hey, just joking, just kidding. I don't know why something like that would have been reported unless there was some sort of merit to it. And if that's the case, I could see also why GM would want to keep that quiet, because, you know, everybody that you mention an E-ray to this day, the very first thing they start talking about is how these things catch fire. Last thing GM wants is an actual problem at the plant because of a fire. So that's just my opinion. I have no idea how much of that's true. I'm just repeating what I've heard. The Corvette guy says the fact that there is no location makes sense, that we won't actually see the car, probably just get more specs. I agree. The more that we move towards a no physical location setup for this, the more I believe that Rick Conti is right about the fact that we're not going to see the actual car. 80 thumbs ups currently. Where are we at? We're at a little bit more than that, so I'm a little bit behind on the comments here. Yeah, Kevin asked a question. Let me try to find that. Kevin Horan says, "Is $1,300 a good price for a full set of GM Z06 wheels?" If they're the forged aluminum wheels, 1,300 is pretty solid. I've seen them going for 2,000 plus, just the wheel themselves, no tires. So, let's see. Oh my God, Matt Hurley. Wow. So Matt Hurley says he wasn't going to get into this, but his brand new E-Ray, guys, he just picked up an E-Ray. It's broke after 400 miles. Matt, I know you don't want to get into it, but if you're okay with it, either share with us here, or you can even just text me if you don't want it to be shared publicly here. I'm curious what's wrong with it. Did you get a check engine light, or what happened? Okay, I'm really far behind on the comments. I apologize, guys. Let me get to where we're going here. Paper Tiger, what's up, man? He says, at this point, is the ZR1 a fully fledged supercar? Honestly, I believe the Corvette has been pretty much a supercar since the C7 Z06, C7 ZR1. C8 Z06 and C8 ZR1 will be no different. I believe they're supercars. And honestly, the only people that would doubt that they're supercars, and I swear I see it every day, the only people that discount the C8 Z06 or the upcoming C8 ZR1 as a supercar are people that own Ferraris or Lamborghinis. Those are the only people that will say that the Corvette Z06 or Corvette ZR1 is not a supercar, because everybody else, the numbers, the speed, the quality, they check the boxes. These are 100% supercars. I agree. Robert Brunn says that he thinks the new ZR1 will be at least 220 mile per hour car. I think that's where the unthinkable speed thing's coming from. It's definitely going to be over 200 miles an hour, and the fastest ZR1 to this day is the C7 ZR1, and it averaged, I believe, 212. So 220 is definitely unthinkable. So I could definitely see that being the main reason for their slogan. Bill Miller says the ZR1 will not need a big reveal. The interest will be amazing. The allocations in production will not only be limited, but low, and I don't think the car is truly ready for production. We could literally end the live video on just that right there, because that is exactly it, 100%. So, Bill Miller, you hit it right on the head. I agree with every single thing you just said. And another person here, Red C806, says, could the ZR1 only be a 2-year car? I don't think it's going to be a 2-year car, but I do think it's going to be every single year, it's going to be limited to a certain number of cars built. Now, the biggest reason I think this, number one, the ZR1 always wants to maintain some sort of limited production. But number two, if they limit production of the ZR1 to, we'll say, someone had mentioned in the comments a couple of weeks ago, 1,000 units. We'll say they make 1,000 a year. If they limit those to 1,000 a year, That frees them up to make more E-Rays, more Z06s, and more Stingrays. If they make as many ZR1s as they possibly can, like they want to do with the Z06 and E-Ray, then it limits the production of all the cars across the board. And why would you want to limit the production of a Stingray or an E-Ray that's going to be much more affordable than a ZR1? It makes sense to limit the production of the ZR1, and I think that that's what they're going to do. The number 1,000 was just something that somebody had mentioned in the chat over here a couple weeks ago, but it made sense. Roughly 1,000 a year, somewhere around there, and then that way GM doesn't have to totally destroy the rest of their production. Maybe in California, says Jay. Here's the thing. Like I said, it's been rumored. Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Virginia International Raceway, Detroit, and Miami. All 5 of those locations. It's been a rumor that this car was going to make an appearance. We haven't heard anything confirmation-wise. Underground reptiles, that's the way they always do it. The cash prize is always less than actually taking the car, which is why I'm not really sure why people wouldn't just take the car and then sell it if you really just wanted the cash. Bill Miller says a big infotainment screen would be nice, especially for the old eyes of mine. I do think we're going to get an updated infotainment system on the inside of the car for the 2026 model year. Everybody keeps saying that we're going to get some sort of update. If it's going to happen, I think it's going to be just the infotainment system. I don't really think that they're going to change a whole lot of other things. Mike Lewis, I thought that same thing. The E-Rays are not as popular as GM expected. I don't think GM expected them to be super popular because, like it or not, the average age of the people buying Corvettes are high. It's somewhere around 62 years old, something like that. Your normal 62-year-old guy is not ready for a hybrid Corvette, nor is he ready for an electric Corvette. It's not going to happen. So GM had to know that doing this, you weren't going to have a giant group of people wanting to buy it. They had to have known that. I think there's more to it than that. Chili Pepper Z06 did an E-Ray catch on fire at the plant. I heard rumors that that's what happened. There is nothing official saying that that was the case, but I heard that there was a fire from the battery pack and someone called it into like the local fire department. And then they immediately called right afterwards and canceled it. Said, "Oh no, there's no battery. There's no fire." Jamal says, "Justin, in your opinion, turbo or supercharged will be better on a ZR1? You will see the weather is changing and every day the heat increases more and more." Honestly, I feel like with the way that they're setting it up, if it is a flat plane crank, I think a turbo would be better. And I think a turbo would also be more supercar. I don't really have a reason for that. I just feel like the turbo would fit the overall look and feel of the car better. Brent says, "I'm seeing quite a bit of C7 ZR1s on the used market. Do you think the C8 ZR1 will fall to the same fate?" No. The biggest thing with the C7 ZR1s, the biggest ones you're going to find on for sale pretty much any day are usually the automatics. And I'll be honest with you, if mine was an automatic, if my ZR1 was an automatic, I would have sold it already as well. The biggest reason I keep this car is because it's the last of the front engines, it's the last of the highest possible horsepower front engines, and it's the last of the manuals. If it wasn't for that, I probably would have already sold it too, because the newer automatics and the C8s, they're far better. Let's get those thumbs ups, everybody. We hit 102. That's awesome, guys. Let's hit 200 by 8:30 would be really awesome. Amber should be rolling in here any minute now, and be really cool if we could hit those 200s. Jay says, "Met you at the bash." Yep, Jay, I remember you. That's awesome to see you on here. Jay, are you coming to Carlisle? I think you said you were, if I remember right. Stephen Rapp says, "We need answers. You should contact their public relations or whatever answers." Stephen, they're not going to tell me anything. If you go directly at the source, they're basically told not to say anything to anybody. All right, guys, we got almost 200 people in here watching. If you could, everybody in here, smash that thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And since we got almost 200 in here watching, we should easily be able to hit 200 thumbs ups. Please help. It really, really helps the channel. I know I keep saying that, but believe me when I say when you hit a thumbs up, it really does help. And it's free. It's easy. Matt Hurley says that he found a small leak under his car Friday, so small I thought it maybe didn't even come from his car. Drove it Friday afternoon, Saturday morning, there was a small puddle under the car again. Oh, man, that sucks, Matt. I'm sorry to hear that. You have had not really great luck with these cars. That sucks. NBA says, I think with the E-Ray, it's because it only comes with carbon ceramic brakes and because the battery technology is all new for the Corvette. Maybe. Matt Early says, Sunday morning, a massive puddle. Fluid was pinkish. I thought it was coolant. It might have been coolant, actually, Matt. That battery pack is cooled with liquid coolant. That would be bad, though, because I believe that's a sealed unit. All right, so let's see. I apologize, guys. I'm behind on the comments here. You guys are commenting faster than I can read. Paper Tiger says, quick prediction. HPO is going to hit 100K before this year is over. Absolutely. Let's make it happen. Paper Tiger, I have to hit 100K before the year is over. I will feel like I failed if I didn't. I was hoping to hit 100K before Carlisle this year, but that's way too soon. I would love to have the 100K by the end of the year, though. Let's do it. Chopper Larry says, "Hey, I'm 62." Exactly. And look at the car you're driving. And I mean, this is no way, shape, or form a bad thing. Trust me. I appreciate all you guys. And I found out just randomly the other day that my best friends, two of them off the top of my head, two of my friends that I consider really good friends, are 50 plus years old. I'm 39. I literally, I don't know why. It's just I get along with older people anyway. So maybe that's why I'm so into the Corvette community. I don't know. This is not a bad thing, guys. Trust me. Goomba says, you think used C8s will get the 45K? Most likely. Um, I could see a 1LT non Z51 with 20 to 30,000 miles hitting 40K, 40, 45K, yeah, in probably a year or two. If you did like a 2020. Um, a poll of what our ages are. That's a great one. I am going to do it. Let's see. How can I do this? Start a poll. Um, how or no, what age group do you fall in? We'll do 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70, and that's all I can do. So let's do that. Guys, what age range do you fall in? I feel like this is going to be an interesting one because if I had to guess, it's going to be probably majority between 50 and 60. But let's see what happens. So let me see where we're at with the comments here. Yep, Elijah, Jason, and Steve are both 50 plus. This is my point. And I wasn't even referring to them. 61 for Brad. Yep. Luke Walsh is 63. I didn't know that, Luke. I assumed you were younger, but again, not a problem. Like I said, all my better friends are all significantly older than me. Paper Tire says, Justin, if you don't hit 100K before 2025, I will personally sell my Mustang and buy a Corvette. It's going to happen. I kind of want to see you do that anyway, man. Sato's in his mid-20s. Explode is 18, he says. Creighton is 66. Brent is less than 30. But do you guys own Corvettes? This is the big thing. You can be young, but do you own a Corvette? Noble Knight says, what about the 20 years? Sorry, for some reason, YouTube only allows me to have 4 different options up there. So I should have specified that I only wanted the people voting on this if they actually own a Corvette. But 147 thumbs up currently. Really? Dang, guys, you guys are killing it. We got 200 people watching. We got 147 thumbs ups, and we got 27 more minutes to hit that 200 mark. Let's do it, guys. Smash the thumbs up. Kevin Horan says, I am 60, so do I vote twice? No, do you put in there 60 to 70, man? 57. All right, yeah, so we got a pretty good swing of ages in here, but yeah. Black Rose says, volume's all the way up, having a hard time hearing you. Are you guys having a hard time hearing me? I can get the mic a little closer to my face here, maybe. Are you guys, is this good? Can you hear me? I haven't really had a problem before, but we got 150 thumbs ups currently, guys. That's really awesome. Thank you all for tuning in. We got a little bit more news to cover tonight. So for those of you just tuning in, we talked about the fact that the new C8 Corvette ZR1 is probably not going to have a physical location for a reveal. This is just my opinion at this point. There's no actual fact behind this. It just seems unlikely that we would have a physical location without having any kind of address or any kind of information dropped on us yet. I mean, we're 3 days away from this thing. So I think it's just going to be a YouTube or a video reveal on GM's website, kind of the way they did with the E-Ray. Let's see what we got. Oh, yeah. So the other thing is I wanted to talk a little bit about the ZR1 and its possibility. Oh, what's up, Batman? I didn't know you were on YouTube. That's awesome, man. How's it going? And he's 50 as well. It's going to be a reveal of the reveal. I feel like that is the dumbest thing I have ever heard. I don't know what. I mean, I get it, but hopefully GM is not using that terminology, a reveal of a reveal. Like, that just is weird. I mean, the ZR1 is supposed to be like literally the king, like the king. And you're going to do a reveal of a reveal? What is that? I don't know. I do not know. Okay, so volume sounds good. Canu says E-Ray sucks, no flat plane. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say the E-Ray sucks, but it's definitely, if you're going for balls to the wall performance, the Z06 is where it's at currently. If the ZR1 comes out and it's somehow massively better, that's going to be fantastic. But Benchmark Science says, I love your C7 ZR1. I do too. Age 72, first Corvette was a 66. Nice. Taj said something. I saw a random like little video clip of something he said, but I don't know if that was taken out of context or I don't know anything about the way that was all that went down. Got 160 thumbs ups currently, guys. We got about 200 people watching. So if those other 40 that are watching would hit thumbs ups, we beat our 200. So guys, smash that for me. Paper Tiger says, have a good night. Hopefully we'll tune in more live streams soon. I forgot how fun you are. Peace. Yeah, see you, man. It was nice having you in here again. Yeah, so that actually NBA Live, I did want to do that. So one of the video clips that was sent to me recently was 3 ZR1s testing in Ohio, and all 3 of them to me sound like they're a flat plane crank. And I'm going to play it for you guys here, and I want you to tell me what you think. Keith French says he agrees. It's dumb, but it's what it's going to be. That's definitely what it looks like. Okay, let's end this poll first. So what age range group do you fall in? We got 20% is 30 to 40, 15 is 40 to 50, 30% is 50 to 60, 35%, 60 to 70. So there you go. The highest percentage of the people in this chat right now are 60 to 70 years old. There it is. So if GM knew their demographics, which I highly doubt that they didn't, they had to have known their demographics. You're not going to sell a battery operated or even a hybrid assisted car to a 70-year-old person. It's not going to happen. They're not going to buy that. So Chevy should have known that. I don't think that that's the reason for the limited production on the E-Ray. I think there's more to it. John Perkins said he was there. He said it at the bash kind of jokingly. And that's what I got too. It was almost like it was a joke, but we'll find out soon enough, I guess. All right, so let me pull up the video here of the cars in Ohio testing. I want you guys to tell me, does this car sound like a flat plane crank or a cross plane crank? All three of them are testing and they all give you a little bit of a sound clip. I'm going to play it probably 2 or 3 times just so everybody can hear it. So here we go. All right. What do you guys think of that? I think that is the first time I've really heard that car really sounding like a flat plane crank. Jackson says the ZR1 event is going to be a pre-recorded video that's shared on YouTube. That's exactly what I think it's going to be too. I think I think it's going to be on their website first, and then they're going to share it on YouTube and then on Instagram. And it's probably only going to give us a few answers. It's probably not going to dive super deep into it, but I guess we'll find out here soon. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end that poll. But let's see. What do you guys think? So we got flat plane, definitely flat plane, flat plane, flat plane. Yeah, that's what I said too. Starched Up says he got my first Corvette at 39, and he's had 2. Next will either be a C8 Z06 or a ZR1, but like Justin, if it ain't a flat plane crank, then I'm out. And I've been saying that from day one because I was told, like I've said before, guys, I have 2 different pretty solid sources inside GM, and both of them have never been wrong in the past about anything. When they tell me something, it ends up happening. One saying a cross plane crank and one saying a flat plane crank. So I have no idea which one to believe because they've both never been wrong. If it's not a flat plane crank, I am not trading my Z06 for it, which means I'm not going to be able to get it because I'm not selling my C7 ZR1 either. If it is a flat plane crank, I will trade the Z06, assuming it's under 220K fully loaded. Does sound like a flat plane. I don't think not one person in here said a cross plane crank. So I think this is it. I think the car is a flat plane crank. From what I can tell, because we heard the cars at the ring, the ones that were at the ring were not, those were not 100% not a flat plane crank. I could hear very distinct differences in the cars that we saw at the ring and the cars that we just saw testing in Ohio. Those are 2 different engine cars. They look identical. Everything down to the big wing, the aerodynamic stuff on the vent on the front hood, all of it is identical. One sounds very much so cross plane crank. These are all flat plane cranks. Yeah. Rattle Trap says, age group poll was funny. That's exactly the Corvette target audience. And here's the thing though, Rattle, it's not. GM keeps wanting to try to lower the average range or age range of people buying Corvettes. But the problem is they want that age range to drop, but they keep raising the freaking prices. And it's like, you can't sell a 20-year-old kid $150,000 Z06. It's not going to work. So if you want a younger target audience, you gotta price your cars lower. It's that simple. I mean, whenever I was 20 years old, I would have killed to have a Corvette. I couldn't afford it, but I wanted one. So it has nothing to do with the desire. It has to do with the ability to afford it. 170 thumbs ups currently. That's pretty cool, guys. We got 205 people in here watching. We could easily have 200. So, guys, smash those thumbs up for me. 37 years old. I purchased a 2024 Stingray 3LT Coupe in Cacti Green. Always liked the Corvette, but the Cacti color really did it for me. I took it to Corvette Invasion, and awesome, man. That's awesome. Zora will be cross-playing with Supercharged. It's possible. I'm still kind of thinking the Zora might be a checkbox option for the ZR1, which would be kind of cool too. Cross-plane, I say. You wouldn't boost a flat plane. That's what I said from the very beginning. I don't know. The only way GM is going to turbocharge a flat plane crank engine is if they figured something out. They either lower the displacement, lower the compression ratio somehow, and put turbos on, or if they just twin turbocharge a 5.5 liter flat plane crank out of the Z06, I don't know how they're gonna offer a warranty on that. I don't know. They had to have figured something out, is all I could tell you. If it's a flat plane crank. The car we just heard, Justin, who says they were ZR1s and not Zoras. Yeah, and that's the thing. They absolutely could have been Zoras. Actually, let me see if you could tell. If I could tell in this video if it's a Zora, if you see it from the front. No, you can't tell. But, you know, the Zoras are typically the ones that have the battery pack cooler in the front as well. I can't tell in this video if that was the case or not. But it is possible that those are Zora cars. It's also possible, though, that the Zora is just going to be a performance add-on to the ZR1. So when you see a Zora, you're really seeing a ZR1 with the Zora package. A lot of this stuff, I mean, we could go on for weeks on the speculation of this thing, but it's very possible that what we're seeing there is a different car than the ZR1. Absolutely. That's cool. Mark says he lives in Bowling Green. He has a couple people that might be able to let him know. Yeah, let me know what they say, because I heard a rumor that it was an E-Ray that caught fire, and then they canceled it really quickly because, like I said, GM doesn't want the negative publicity on top of what everybody's talking about with the E-Ray anyway. Yeah, lethal performance. I've been saying that for years now. As long as they lower the displacement and or the compression ratio, you can absolutely turbocharge a flat plane crank. I've never said you can't. I just don't see them turbocharging a 5.5 liter flat plane crank and not having any issues. Yeah, young people don't have the money. That's it. Because like I said, whenever I was 20, I wanted a Corvette. I couldn't afford it. It was that simple. There was no money for me to be able to afford a Corvette at 20 years old. I would have not turned you down if someone wanted to give me one. So it has nothing to do with the desire of wanting one at a young age. It's purely you can't afford it. Younger crowds were buying the C8, but you got to remember whenever it first came out, it also started at 59.9. So it started almost actually over $10,000 lower than it does now. Plus, it was the new hotness. So it was just a popularity thing more than anything. It didn't change the average age range of people that buy Corvettes by much. I think it went down 1 or 2 years. Yeah, they're purposely not smashing the throttle when leaving and entering places because they don't want people to video it and be able to tell what the engine is. Yeah, Bill, I remember you sending me that, but who knows? I mean, the thing is that video is almost 3 years old at this point. Could have changed. Yeah, the cost and practicality is why I didn't get my first vet until 50. For me, it's 100% the cost. I mean, they at 20 years old, the most I could afford at that time when I was 20. I mean, I think I had my car was worth like 7 or 8 grand. Like that. That's just how it goes. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, so The other thing I wanted to talk about a little bit here is a topic that came up on the Mid-Engine Corvette forum, and that is active aero. So the ZR1 very, very likely could have active aero. We've talked about this 100 times on this channel, but this particular thread popped up and I thought it was a good time to talk about it again. Don't give up on the ZR1 having active aero. It is still a very good possibility, especially if the Zora car ends up being a performance checkbox. Because if you check the Zora option, odds are very good you're going to get more than just the front hybrid motor assist. You're probably going to get some sort of active aero. Now, the rear wing on a ZR1, on the C7 ZR1, it was adjustable as well. I believe at very, very worst case scenario here, the C8 ZR1 wing is going to be adjustable. It might not be active, but it's going to be at least adjustable. I talked a little bit in the video I put out yesterday about the ports on the side, the hips of the rear of the car, where they could literally have those ports open and closed like this, depending on which way you're turning, to assist with turning the vehicle. I think the Lamborghini Performante had a system that did something very similar. So when those ports open or close, it makes the car turn better. So it's not so much active aero as it is just basically opening, closing a air intake port, but it still operates the same way. So we could get active aero. These are this image on the screen right here is literally a patent that GM filed for active aero, and you can tell by the picture that it's cut off, but I've seen the original patent. This is actually a patent that was filed using the C7 Corvette look. So you can tell from the front there, that's like the C7 Stingray front bumper. And this stuff was filed around 2019 to 2020, if I remember correctly. So this is something you could realistically see in a Corvette. You're going to see it eventually. Whether it's the C8 ZR1 or the C8 Zora, I could almost put money on the fact the C8 lineup is going to see active aero eventually. They keep filing patents for it. It's got to be coming sooner or later. So guys, Amber just joined us.
Where am I at?
Yeah. Show him the cup. So Matt Hurley and his wife sent us a gift. And if you guys can't see this, it's a wine glass with horsepower obsessed etched in it. So when Amber gets on the lives here, she enjoys her glass of wine.
Can you see it?
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So big thumbs up, big thank you to Matt Hurley and his wife. Yeah, for sending us that. That was really awesome.
Cheers, Lindsay.
Yeah, if she's I haven't seen her on here yet, but if she's on here, you guys. Yeah. Yeah, 10 seconds 06. I'm actually thinking the same thing, and it's weird because I'm obviously a big wing kind of guy. I love it on my C7 ZR1, but I really like the Z06 Z07 wing. I do love the ZR1 hood though. So if I don't get a ZR1, there's definitely going to be a little bit of a cross play kind of thing happening there. Look at all these people saying hi to you. Hi, Amber. Lindsay is drinking out of her. It's nice.
Nice. That's cool. Hey, Aaron.
We can start the show now. Yep. Sweet glass. Yep. It is a really cool glass. Like I actually was kind of sad that I don't drink wine because I would like to have something like that too. But
oh, she's on. She's typing. She's actually on.
Oh, there it is. Yep. Cheers. Yeah, give her cheers. There it is. Cheers.
It's hard to know which way to go on this screen.
Make mine a beer glass. I have this. I don't really use these things, but I have this tumbler which had a C7 Corvette logo on the back. I don't really use those things, so
a couple of times.
Yeah.
Water or whatever you put in it. Usually Mountain Dew.
Yeah, I don't usually use those though. 197 currently, guys. You guys are killing it tonight.
More.
We got 211 people watching. We should easily be able to hit that 200 number. Yeah.
You want to vote, Bubs? He's like, I smelled out wine, Mama.
Yeah. Let's see. What other news we got? So we covered the active aero. Oh, we covered that already too. What's this? So
talk about National NCM.
Yeah. The only thing we didn't really talk about tonight so far, guys, is the the fact that the 2025 allocations are kind of out there. The dealers have received first 2025 Corvette allocations as of July 18th, so 4 days ago. So they're not going to start building 2025s until I think it was September 9th is when they're going to start building 2025s, but they're starting to accept allocations to get things rolling early. So if you're interested in a 2025, speak with your local dealership. You can get one of these new colors, the purple, the yellow. I'm anxious to see the yellow, to be honest with you. I think the yellow is probably their coolest updated color. So if you guys are interested in those 2025s, they're coming soon.
They see you, Bubs.
All right, so we got 204 thumbs up. Seriously? Yeah, we do. You guys are awesome tonight.
206.
You guys are awesome. Klong says the Corvette age demographic is interesting, but not surprising. I wonder what the same age demographic is for a Porsche. I would assume it's similar. I own a 2024 Z06 GT3 RS and a 718 Spider. That's right. You got all the ridiculously awesome cars. Those are possibly three of the coolest cars built. So you have a heck of a garage, man. I would assume probably the same. I think the age range is probably similar. The only thing that would affect the age range on a Ferrari or Lamborghini or a Porsche, in my opinion, is the kids that are born super wealthy. So you got some of these real high end YouTubers that have like millions of subs and stuff and they're like 20 years old. They were born into a super wealthy family. They're not going to go buy a Corvette. They're going to buy the most ritzy Lamborghini or Porsche, Ferrari, something that shows their clout. So that is the only thing that I could possibly see swaying these numbers at all, is something like that.
Did you tell him about the wheel company at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chopper Larry says the new wheels suck. Yeah, I really was not a fan of those when I saw them at the bash. I don't see any reason for it. I thought the stock Z06 wheels were already pretty good. They just need better fitment. Squirrel Cage. Probably too much to recap, really, but ultimately, I don't personally think the ZR1 is going to be displayed at a physical location. I think it's going to be something GM just drops on us via video. So on Thursday, I think we're going to get a video update from GM talking about some of the specs we can see. The purple's okay. If the purple looked more like the dot that you put right beside the word purple, I would be happier with it. Lewis, I haven't heard anything more about that. Originally, they were talking about stripping CarPlay and Android Auto out of any GM cars for a certain year, but I haven't heard anything more about it because the person that was supposed to do that was in charge of that department, was either fired or let go or quit or something. So that might not be happening anymore. Yeah. Yeah, the price range of Porsche, the price alone brings older age groups. Yeah. I mean, I'm not really sure why that seems to be such a challenge for GM to understand that, because they seem like they're fight. I mean, if you look at this, the C8 lineup, they removed chrome wheels. They removed chrome wheels from the C8 lineup, hoping that was going to help reduce the age range. They added a bunch of options to the car, made it look more exotic, obviously, to try to get younger people in. And now they're slowly adding, like with the E-Ray, you can get a polished wheel, which is basically chrome. They're slowly adding that stuff back in now. It's like, if I was GM, I would say, you know what? I'm going to own it. Like, our age range is this number to this number. Let's own it. What's the difference? You got people buying your cars. I don't know that I'd care too much about how old they are. 215 thumbs up currently, guys. You're awesome. See, Shane, the first time you're back and we hit 200 without a problem. I think Shane might be the secret here. Yeah. David says, does anyone find it interesting that GM always seems to bring out these colors that are more like a variation of what they already have, even if it's never been done before, like the blurple? Yeah, and I've said that same thing. They just deleted a whole bunch of grays. And if that isn't their way of introducing something brand new, then I'm going to be a little agitated over it, because it's like you deleted 3 or 4 different colors that were basically gray. If you bring back 3 or 4 colors that are also basically gray, only a slightly different shade of gray, then that was totally pointless. They need to be a little bit more daring with these new colors. They can't just keep making a slightly different shade of orange, a slightly different shade of red, a slightly different shade of blue. Come out with an absolute purple, an absolute lizard green. Come out with something crazy. Like, even if it's only 1 or 2 colors that are just totally off the wall, and then the rest of your color palette is your normal colors, like reds, blacks, whites, grays, whatever. Leave at least 2 colors that are just totally different for the GM lineup. And I think that green, like lizard green, Verde Ithaca green, and then the purple that they used to put on the Lamborghini Huracan Performantes. That's what you need to do. You want to make this car exotic? Make the colors exotic. Shane, the man of the people. Yeah. Shane really is. He's a cool dude. He says they love and miss me. Yeah.
Isn't Carlisle exactly a month from today?
A
Did
little.
it start the 22nd?
I think it's the 23rd, but yeah,
23rd? You sure about that?
I'm not sure of anything. No.
No? Let me check on that.
Silver Flare was nice. And that's one that surprises me. I would imagine Silver Flare is probably going to be a color that gets replaced with another slightly different silver. Because at the end of the day, there's no way we're going without a silver option on the Corvettes. They did do the NFT Z06 in green, and that's the green they should have literally brought as a color.
Nope, it's actually the 22nd through the 24th.
Okay, then it's a month from today. Yeah, Matt Hurley says he would love to see a couple of ZR1 exclusive only colors. I think that would be pretty cool too, especially if it was, again, a green or a bright purple. Like, the ZR1's already going to be so expensive. Give us some cool colors to go with it. Benchmark, you ever come to any Ohio car shows? I haven't.
Wasn't there a car show in Ohio at that bank parking lot one time? Was it Ohio?
I don't recall,
I don't
but
remember
I
either.
haven't gone out there before for a car show,
Okay.
but there are some that are pretty relatively local, because I'm in Pittsburgh, so I'm pretty much right on the edge of the Ohio Pennsylvania border anyway. So if it's not too far into Ohio, I would come out. I actually am planning a trip to Ohio here probably within the next week or so for some undisclosed mods, but yeah. Lethal Performance says just picked up my Z06 last week in Seawolf Gray. Boy, that took me way too long to realize what that acronym meant. The configurator is horrible, depicting that color. Oh yeah, it is. Seawolf Gray looks totally different than it does on the configurator.
Congrats on your car.
Yeah, congrats. That is a cool color though. Every time I see Seawolf Gray, the only time I've ever seen that color that I didn't like it was at Carlisle. Every other time I've seen it in person, whether it's overcast or sunny outside, the color looks awesome. But at Carlisle, I remember I did not like the way it looked under the lighting that they had.
I remember I used to love that shadow gray metallic.
Yeah.
But then seeing it in person, I'm like, oh, it's not as nice as I saw.
It had too much green in it.
Right. It looks better in, I think it's the light.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, the light.
Is it the light?
Yeah. In the low
It
low light situations, the what was the color you just said?
Are you serious?
Yeah, I can't think of it now.
See, or shadow gray metallic.
Yeah, it wasn't shadow gray. It was oh man, I'm drawing a blank. Anyway,
Nice car is that.
we asked for purple, and GM was like, you can have some purple, not all purple. Yeah. I think it was Shane that actually said GM gave us a safe purple. And that, when he said that, I was like, that's exactly it. They do not want to go crazy with these colors, but they should. They should go crazy with at least 1 or 2 of them. They have so many colors on their palette.
Oh, hypersonic. Thank
Hypersonic,
you.
yeah. God.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Shadow Gray Metallic. Where did
Yeah.
I come up with that?
Well, that was a color, but that was an older one.
Oh wow.
So hypersonic gray was a really cool looking gray if it was in the sun. If you had it in low light situations, it had a lot of green in it,
Yeah,
and it
Shark
ruined it.
Gray. Shark Gray Chopper Larry, that was a very nice color.
Shark gray was probably the GM's last gray
That was like true.
that was really perfectly gray.
Mhm.
Safe purple, yep.
Ceramic Matrix Gray. The Ceramics Matrix Gray had more of like a silver in it, it seemed like.
No, it was mostly, it looked white most of the time, but all right, guys. So lastly, I kind of want to just see again how many of you, and actually I'm going to do a poll on this. So how many of you think
No, it's not right.
that it might be that I might be right about the fact that it's not going to be a physical location for the ZR1? Do you think Chevy will introduce the ZR1 to us via video or physical location? Video. Okay. So do you think Chevy's going to introduce the ZR1 to us via video or a physical location? I'm going to put this poll up here now. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'm curious how right or how I might be onto this. Like, does it make sense? I kind of I wish they wouldn't. I kind of like the idea of a physical location release, but a reveal. But I just at this point I feel like we only got 3 days left and no one has a location yet. So I feel like there's almost no chance that it's going to be a physical location. Brent says, I wonder what GM would say if you asked them why they won't do a proper green. That would be an interesting question. Joshua Wolf says, yeah, you're right. Video. Chopper Larry says, hope it's in Miami. I did too, because like I have a place in Florida. I could easily go down. I'd be less than 20 minutes away from the Miami if it's on like the northern side of Miami at least. Watkins Glen was pretty good, but it was a little too dark. I prefer a slightly lighter shade of gray, which is what Shark Gray was.
I think my favorite color of all time is Black Rose.
Yeah,
I
that's
really
a good
like that
color.
color.
American Racecraft says, are you getting a ZR1? Will that mean selling the Z06? I will get a ZR1 under
Two conditions.
two conditions. Number one, it's got to be a flat plane crank because I will be trading the Z06.
Would you say
But
230 or something?
But number two, it's got to be under probably 220, 230 if fully loaded. Like my Z06 currently is fully loaded outside of not being a Z07, but I made it look like it was anyway. So I don't want to go from a fully loaded car down to something that's not fully loaded. That's how I like them. So it's got to be under 220, 230 at most. And I mean, even then, that's really pushing it.
Could you imagine how cool that would be? C7 ZR1 next to a C8
Yeah.
ZR1.
That's the biggest reason I want to do it.
Here's the biggest question, and I think we all know the answer. Would you get black?
Yeah.
Again,
unless they release some really cool colors.
do you realize at this point we own 5 black vehicles? All of our vehicles are black.
That's why you can't change it. No.
I think we should go with like an eccentric color.
If a green comes out, I would definitely consider
green. Yep. With carbon flash accents or carbon fiber accents, that would look good. What do you think?
10 second Z06 says, I was hoping Florida and you would get an invite. I was hoping the same thing, man. Yeah, Luke Walsh, the Audi Lambo greens are in ceramic grays. Yeah, they do great with their greens. So does Porsche. Porsche has a really nice gray too.
Oh, look at Jay's comment. I'd buy a praying mantis Lamborghini green. That would be nice.
Chevy's really the only one that doesn't have a good green for a car that looks as exotic as the Z06 or the C8 in general. Why not a good green?
Minio's Pizza. That's been a long time since I've heard that name. Minio's Pizza.
You know that place?
Yeah.
I've never been there, but she knows it.
It's kind of like that place that we went to the other night that I ended up getting that steak hoagie at. The little mom and pop place.
Rattletrap says Justin is the man. No sway on black. Yeah, I like black, man.
And
When it's done right, it looks good.
your thing used to be red.
Yeah, all my cars I owned were red up
Always
until
red.
ZR1.
Yep. You had that red color on.
Justin is a modern age Johnny Cash in a Corvette. I love Johnny Cash, man. You could definitely do worse. If I'm going to be compared to anybody and you want to compare me to Johnny Cash, it could be worse. So I'll take it.
Jay, that's funny you say that. His business partner does have a Porsche in Miami blue.
Yeah. Yep. Honestly, Miami blue is
That's a
cool.
pretty color.
Miami blue is more of a turquoise. If you want like a blue, which is more similar to Rapid blue, I think is Porsche's Shark blue. Looks very similar to Rapid blue. Camaro came in a nice green. Yeah, it was Krypton green. They literally have the palette for it at GM, and they won't do it on a Corvette for some reason. Once you go black, you don't go back. Very true. 235 thumbs ups currently, guys. Thank you so much. I think we're going to wrap this one up, though. So we got 3 days until the reveal of the ZR1. If they do, in fact, do it via video or on their website, I probably will do another live video that day or a video in general. I might do something live just because I'd like to get all of your feedback on it. But at the end of the day, we are 3 days away from knowing something about this car. I'm not looking for a lot of information. If I had to guess, GM's going to give us very little here, but it's better than nothing because we have nothing to go on right now. So, yeah, I fell into a burning ring of fire. Yes, you did. All right. So, do you think Chevy will introduce the ZR1 to us via physical location or video? 83% say video. So, yeah, we're probably getting a video. Anyway, guys.
Thanks, Rattletrap.
Yeah, thanks, Rattletrap.
Thank you, Lindsay and Matt, for the cup too.
And yeah,
I really like it. Oh, it's hard to see on.
It's almost empty too.
Yeah, it is.
Great stream. Do it live. I will do it live, Tyler. I had a pretty good feeling I was going to do the Thursday live anyway. So,
thank you everybody for joining.
Yep. Thanks.
This is probably our best show that we've had with the most likes.
It's pretty close. It's up there. You guys killed it tonight. I really appreciate all the support. You guys were really interactive tonight. But we'll see you on Thursday. So fingers crossed we get some really cool information for the ZR1.
Maybe we can even stream it live. You think like we did for the C8? You gonna do that?
If I can.
Woo woo. All right, guys. I'm off work Thursday, so I will be here.
All right, guys.
And yes, ma'am. I do need a refill. It's ginger ale.
Yeah, ginger ale.
Cheers.
All right, guys.
Everybody have a nice night. Thanks for tuning in.
Yep. Shane, thanks for being the guy.
237. That's good.
Yep. We'll see you guys Thursday.
Good night, everybody.